Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Heartbroken for my guy Bivol, man. Heartbroken. That was a very tough fight to score. Very tough. Great fight as well. Two guys very much at the top of their game. I don't care if Beterbiev is 39, coming off knee surgery in May. That guy is still very, very good. I said in my video yesterday, my prediction video, that I thought the knee surgery would play a part in this. I was like, there's no way he's going to be able to cut off the angles and stop the movement of Bivol, because he won't be able to use his legs as much. And he still was. He probably didn't do it as much and as good as he wanted to, but he still cut off the angles. And Bivol had to be at his absolute best not to get stuck on the ropes. But Beterbiev is incredible. He is. It'll be interesting to see where you guys have him in your pound for pound rankings. Like, has he cracked the top three? Is that three solidified of Usyk, Crawford, and Inoue? I mean, is there an argument to put Beterbiev in that? I think there's an argument. We'll get to that in a minute, but I think there's an argument just because I look at the people he's beaten and there are no faded champions in there. You know, like most times on a resume, the guys are kind of beating guys on the way out. Like, he's beating guys on the way up. If anything, at his age, he's the guy on the way out. So I think there's an argument for a top three, definitely number 4. Like, I don't want to hear any other name at number 4. I think he's that guy. For the record, I had it 7-5 Bivol. So I'm saying all that, but I had it 7-5 Bivol. Ringside, I had it 7-5 Bivol. Watching it back at home, I had it 7-5 Bivol. But it's, what do you like? Do you like the hit and move of Bivol? And there were times where Bivol stood and traded, which I said he's going to need to do to get respect from Beterbiev. Or do you like the marauding, come forward style Beterbiev? Whatever style you like is going to dictate where this fight was won or lost. Like, if you like Bivol's style like I do, and obviously I like Bivol, so I'm a bit biased, I'm going to give a couple of the swing rounds to Bivol, so I'm going to give it 7-5 Bivol. If you like Beterbiev, you're going to do it the other way. 116, 112 is a bit silly. But yeah, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. I mean, Bivol was very, very humble in defeat. One good thing about Riyadh season is that we can see these guys get it on straight away. Like with boxing, sometimes when there is a decision that people are not happy with, the fights never ever happen again, or it takes years for it to happen. I think we've seen now, Fury Usyk's a great example. If we want to get it on again, we get it on again. Will it be for Undisputed? Probably not. I mean, the likes of Joshua Buatsi are waiting for his shot. Morel takes on Benavidez. They're going to wait for their shot. But it doesn't matter. We've seen Undisputed now. It doesn't matter. All I want to see is these guys get it on again. And I think Bivol will take a lot of confidence from the first fight. And Beterbiev will say, okay, my knee will be 110% by the time the second fight rolls around. So I think it's going to be very, very interesting. What a great fight though, guys. Honestly, as soon as the bell rang, I mean, you're there, you're ringside watching it, and you're like, this is actually going to happen. And I think for the first couple of rounds, Bivol's doing good work. But in my head, I'm like, bloody hell, Beterbiev is making Bivol work for this. Like, Bivol is normally the guy that's on the front foot. Go and watch the Zerda Ramirez fight. Go and watch the Canelo Alvarez fight, Lyndon Arthur fight, Malik Zanad fight. So his last 4 fights, he's been the guy pushing the pace, controlling the pace. He's literally on the back foot, and Beterbiev is pushing the pace. And I'm like, this is frightening. I think I tweeted it. I said, this is scary. And it also was scary because they looked a couple of weight classes apart. Like, Bivol looked like a 168 guy coming up, whereas Beterbiev looked like a cruiserweight coming down. He looked enormous in there. And even though a lot of these shots were on the gloves, those still do damage. People act like that doesn't hurt. When he's landing that, like even Bivol said after, like Bivol had his gloves up so tight that every time Beterbiev landed, it kind of caused a swelling on Bivol's eyes. So he's a machine. Honestly, he's a machine. But it was so good to see two completely different styles just gel and work. And I loved it. I loved it. And I know Eddie was upset with the scoring afterwards, and it's boxing, isn't it? I mean, it is boxing. Again, 116, 112 is crazy, but a couple of those rounds were so close that I can understand how you give them to Beterbiev. Like sometimes Beterbiev nick rounds. There was one round, for example, where Bivol, and having just watched it back, what was it? I think it might have been round 9, where Bivol, I think it was his best round maybe. For 2 minutes, 20 seconds of that round, he is perfect. It's beautiful. The last 40 seconds, Beterbiev lands a flurry and you're thinking, fuck, which way are the judges going to give this? Like, what do the judges remember? Do they remember the last 40 seconds or do they remember the first 2 minutes and 20? And I think that's the problem with some of these fights, right? It was almost a bit like Beterbiev. I keep saying Beterbiev and Beterbiev. You know what I'm talking about. It was almost like he won the last 30, 40 seconds of some rounds and stole the rounds. That's the way it felt. But look, credit to both. Again, this is a case of these two fighters not talking much, but delivering in the ring. Delivering in the ring. I think we've got so used to, and I'm at fault here as well, of expecting fighters to turn into circus acts fight week to sell the fight. And these guys, no, we sell the fight by how we fight. Right? We will get in the ring and we will do our absolute best. That should be enough. And I do think there needs to be something said about that. Daniel Dubois, again, very similar. I don't like talking, but get me in the ring and I will do it. Maybe we do need to go back old school where the promoters promote and they do the selling. You know, old school Don King, right? Where it's the sell because the promoter's selling it, not necessarily the fighters. The fighters are there to fight. And I think both of these two exemplify that. Both of these two get in the ring and they put on a show. All right, look, we're going to do so many videos throughout the week about this. You guys know I'm here for another week. So I will look back on it and do more videos. But I do want to go through the fight card as well. Fabio Wardley. What can you say about that? Like, that was scary, you know. When you're ringside and you're watching that, like, that was frightening because obviously it wasn't the loudest. You heard that punch and you heard the crack. And I didn't know I was getting in the ring. You guys would have seen, like, Chris Mannix did all the interviews. Obviously, I'm in the studio. Chris Mannix did all the interviews. And then they said, Addy, get in the ring and do it. Maybe because it was a British title fight, it made sense having a Brit do it. So as I got in the ring, I'm kind of looking over at Fraser and he's still out. He's still out. He doesn't know where he is. And you can see the dent in his face. Like it's a real dent. And I'm like, fucking hell. Like Fabio hits, you know. Fabio, what a story. Like, it's an incredible story. And I really wanted him to call someone out. I spoke to his team just before I interviewed him. I was like, does he want to call anyone out? Because I was going to try and instigate it because this is your moment. This is the platform. Say anyone. Like, I think he said something about a world title. You're not going to get that. But I thought he might have called out a Joseph Parker maybe, a Jerome Miller, Big Baby Jared Anderson. Someone of that ilk, right? Someone in and around the top 15. And I thought these are all perfect fights for him. The Joseph Parker one is a bit of a reach, but why not reach? Why not reach? You just slept your British rival in 2 minutes. Why not reach? So, look, incredible performance from Fabio Wardley. And look, we hope that Fraser Clarke is okay because he's a great guy. Nice guy. But this is heavyweight boxing. And he said it to me sort of pre all this stuff, and he said, look, you switch off for one moment and your lights are out. And unfortunately, he switched off for a moment and we saw what happened. Benn, Whitaker, Liam Cameron. What happened there? What happened there? And by the way, when I say what happened there, I don't mean over the ropes thing. We'll get to that. I mean what happened with Benn Whitaker. I said this in a video I did 3 days ago. I said pressure's on. I said it, pressure's on. You've got to, you can talk all the way you want to talk. You've then got to deliver. And all of a sudden, and I didn't like it. I heard sort of comms saying this is a good thing. All of a sudden, he almost reverted back to a normal boxer. Like just a typical, and I'm like, what's he doing? Where's the, the flashy? Because I think that flashy showboating stuff, I think if you are a traditional boxer, it's hard to read what he's going to do. So I think that stuff works for him. But he almost tried to just fight normal. And I was like, what are you doing? He tried to fight Liam Cameron at Liam Cameron's fight. And I'm like, this is not working for you. The first round was okay. And then after that, I was like, okay, this is starting to swing the way of Cameron. And by the time the fight ended, Liam Cameron was definitely on top. And I felt like an upset was incoming. I'm being very honest with you. As for whether or not he found a way out of the fight, who knows? I don't know. I mean, the only person that will know the answer to that is Benn Whitaker. It looked like he was injured. I'll be honest with you, there is an image of his foot and it does look swelled up a little bit. That's me giving him the benefit of the doubt, but it doesn't look good. You know, I'm a big Benn fan. I've said this to Ben. I'm a massive fan of yours. But this was the moment. This was it. This was the moment, right? Turkey put him on his page. Is he the next Prince Nassim? You know, all this, he got the big build-up and then that. I mean, you get a moment. He will get more moments because Ben's a good fighter, but that was a case of welcome to professional boxing. Welcome to fighting someone that will fight you back and push you back hard. And Liam did that. And Liam's unlucky not to get the decision. Like when that went to scorecards, I was adamant Liam won that. So, yeah, a lot to do with Benn. I mean, I know that he's no longer with Sugar Hill, or I don't know what's happened, but get back to Sugar Hill. Because this new trainer, no. If this is the same new trainer that worked with him for Ezra Aranyeka and those are two not good performances. Or could it be the levels going up? I don't know. You guys tell me. Chris Eubank Jr., Camille Zaramata. Weirdly, I have mixed feelings about this fight. Strange. Like, Chris started off like a steam train. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to get him out of there just like that. And then for some reason, he wasn't able to. He was landing, trying to throw uppercuts from like miles away. I'm like, what's he doing? Like, just get to your fundamentals and just get this kid out of there. Right, Camille's starting to get a bit of confidence. Landed a couple of big shots, Camille. It's only because he's not got power and Chris has got a good chin that he got away with those. And then obviously the finish was beautiful. And he needed that. He needed that because with the finish, you forget the first or the 5 rounds preceding that. Because they weren't great. Because he was getting teed off on. He was landing shots as well, don't get me wrong. But it wasn't great. But look, we move on to Conor Benn. This fight's clearly going to happen. Where, I don't know. Is it going to be sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control? I do not know. But Conor Benn clearly was there for a reason, and that was to jump in the ring, steal the limelight, and instigate a big blockbuster fight. And it will be a big blockbuster fight. Us hardcore fight fans don't determine what's going to be a big blockbuster fight. Casual fight fans do. And the casual fight fans are all over it. All over it. So as much as some are saying, oh, this is a disgrace, and brrr, shut up. We don't dictate shit, people. How have you not realized that? Like, we don't dictate what's big and what's not big. It's a big blockbuster fight. And I think it should happen in the UK, and hopefully it does. There was some talk about it going on this February card. I doubt that. Chris has got a little nick. Didn't seem like a big one, but it's a nick nonetheless. So he's gonna be stitched up, and then it takes a few weeks to get the stitches out. I don't know. It could happen in February, but I'm thinking more March, April. We'll see how it plays out. I think because of everything that happened in this fight card, I think a lot of people have forgot about Jai Opetaia's performance. Dude, that was perfect. That was 10 out of 10. Like 10 out of 10 performance of the night. Performance of the night. I was going to give it to Fabio, but it has to be Jai Opetaia. Going into that, a lot of people, they weren't swinging to Jack. I'd be lying if I was to say that. But they were like, okay, you know what, Jack's got a bit of a chance here, you know. Jai in his last couple of fights, his last fight against Marius Bredas, the last couple of rounds, ran out of gas, Jack, very big, he can punch, he can take a punch. You know, what's going to happen here? Jai gave him a boxing lesson. That's what happened there. That's what happened there. Jai gave him a boxing lesson. It was just in and out, on his toes. When he wanted to be the aggressor, he was the aggressor. Landed combinations. Perfect. Honestly, this guy is just, I love him. I love him. Honestly, I love him. I think he's a pound for pounder. And when I say that, I don't mean a top 10. I think he's eventually going to be a pound for pounder. Like, he's on the way there. I think he's going to clean up the cruiserweight division. I really do. I know Chris Smith fights Zerdo, November 16th. He's beating the winner of that. He's beating the winner of that fight. I'm convinced of it. And then we'll see what happens. I don't know. I need to find out how old he is. Normally I have my fucking laptop here. I can do it. But I don't know if he can slowly put on size. You know, there has been comparisons with Usyk, right? But Usyk is 6'3". You know what I mean? Jai is 6'1". It's the land of the giants as well. I think he will do it though, because he's got that about him. He's got that about him, so I think he will do it. So, look, well done to him. Well done to Skye. She can't be touched, can she? Honestly, I mean, Raven tried, but ultimately there were levels apart in terms of skill. And even when Skye doesn't engage much, but even when Skye decided to kind of just, okay, let's engage, let's fight, Skye landed really clean shots. Clean shots. There's only 2 names next for me. I know she wants Amanda Serrano, but I think it's Amanda Serrano or Alicia Baumgardner. Like, someone needs to put it on her, and those 2 girls will put it on her. She could beat both of them, by the way. She really could, but like, hopefully she jumps up in weight. She's got the frame to get in that mix in and around the lightweight division, maybe even a bit higher, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But she is supremely talented, very arrogant, very cocky, but I like that. I don't give a fuck. If you can back it up, you can back up, and she backs it up. All right, guys, girls, peace.